time to go prospecting, guys. A little prospecting
fellas.
here. A couple guys that are available to the Nuggets right around that 21st spot, but we're going to start with Jaden Hardy. Jaden Hardy. All right, Vote. What do you know about him?
Hoopers. Jaden Hardy is 6'4".
He's a hooper.
With a 6'9" wingspan from G League Ignite. And
that's a Gary Harris build, by the way. That's a straight up Gary Harris build.
We've got Dion Waiters there for the comp.
Yeah, that's a great comp. It's
stylistically, it actually makes a lot of sense. And do we have strengths and weaknesses?
I would call him full Dion Waiters.
Strengths. Let's focus in on that first one. One-on-one scoring.
Would you say he's a bucket?
He is a bucket. That is the best way to describe him. Creative scorer, really good handle, very comfortable stepping back, pulling up.
Very comfortable
stepping back and pulling up. Sometimes guys are elite scorers in college because they're just bigger and faster and stronger than everyone. He is an elite scorer because he is just a bucket on any court.
He's really skilled, man. You almost
skilled.
Can't gloss over that. Like he has a lot of really good moves. Loves the step back, but he can get to it in a lot of different ways.
Yep.
And then he's just got I don't want to say a Kyrie handle because it's not that level, but he's got a good handle for a guy his age. Like the skill level that he has right now is there's probably not going to be that many players that have the skill. When I say skill, I'm talking specifically about dribbling and shooting.
Sure.
Not that many players are going to get to even his level. It's very high skill level.
Yeah, and when you combine a very tight handle with real pull-up prowess,
yeah.
I mean, this is a guy that can get his own shot.
Yeah.
He's a 1v1 threat, but he's also pretty good out of the pick and roll as a scorer, shot effectively as a scorer in that action. Obviously, against drop coverage, if he's comfortable pulling up, that mid-ranger is saucy. He's got that all day long. As a playmaker out of the pick and roll, a little bit of TBD. I mean, this is not something the Ignite did super well or did a lot of, but it might be something a front office executive at the next level is intrigued by in him. The shooting potential is there as well.
Shooting potential, it's kind of funny because his numbers were whatever, but you watch his shot.
Yeah.
Gorgeous shot.
I was actually surprised after watching the highlights to see how low his efficiency was.
Well, we'll get to the reason for that probably here in a bit.
There's a lot of reasons. But you ask him you ask if he's like a scorer. Like as a junior, he was the Gatorade Player of the Year for Nevada. He put up 30 points a game. He put 62 points in a game, like a comeback win. In high school, 62 points is like you just have to be mentally different. Like he's a killer in every single way as a one-on-one scorer. So like when you think about his like offensive tree, he has all the things that you need from like that combo guard type of feel. He elite ball handler, scores if you put him in the open court, ISO score and things like that.
Catch and shoot scores.
He can shoot the ball, and he's going to probably just get better with that because that's going to be something that he has to get better with. There's also those cons, and I'm sure you're going to
we'll get to him in a second. Real quick on the shooting, not just a catch and shoot guy, which is often how we talk about a lot of shooters and with regards to prospects. This is a guy you could conceive of coming off movement, coming off screens. Again, he's just comfortable shooting the basketball.
And when you watch the highlights of him making shots, a lot of those threes don't hit the rim. Right. A lot of them don't just like it's just perfect. Like even the net just kind of like makes a little movement. Like his shot really does look pure to me.
And the range. I mean, think Bones. Like a deep pull up is a staple of his game. Let's talk about.
I also the balance is great. The reason I mentioned this is some guys shoot a little bit. Like I think Bones is almost this way where like he kind of does a lot, then he has to set. And then shoots. His somehow he gets balanced. He's very, very, very fluid. He's so fluid. Like he just gets into his perfect rhythm, almost Ray Allen-esque. Duncan Robinson has this thing where he could be running full speed to the side and just somehow smoothly goes into the shooting motion. He's got that too. I think he's going to be
in the air somehow. Yeah.
I think he's going to be a great shooter at the NBA level if he makes it.
There are some weaknesses for as good as he is as putting the ball through the rim from a distance. He is not a great finisher. In fact, he's not a good finisher. Very disappointing, 38.6% at the rim. Not great going to his left. And he's not the strongest dude in the world. Probably could do well developing a floater, but that's something still leaves to be desired.
When you say this, not a great finisher at the rim, I don't think people understand. And then you give the number, your tendency is like, okay, he's bad. 38.6% at the rim is insane.
It's a bad
It's insane. Like bad at the rim, you can be 45, 50% at bad. You're like, hey, he's got to improve there. 38.6 is like, and then when you watch the low light part of his scouting report, some of these misses, honest to God, the guy it reminded me of was Emmanuel Mudiay. Remember when Mudiay would miss some shots at the rim that looked easy? Like it'd be a layup where he should be open. You just got to finish it. No contact, no contest. And like, he just rolls around the outside of the rim because you like
break the other way.
You missed it so bad. Yeah. Like he has a lot of those, and then he has some where a guy will contest and he'll go up so awkwardly that it'll hit the backboard, not the rim, and you'll be like, "Dude, that was a 4-footer that you almost airballed."
Right, and part of it is because he's not super comfortable absorbing contact. Definitely way more comfortable with that right hand.
It's so damning. The way what I saw in the scouting reports was so damning that it made me think he's actually an extremely solvable player. Like. One of the guys we're going to compare him to is Cam Thomas, who's like who is a bucket, but he has his own shortcomings or this or that. But if you're a rookie, and especially if you're not in a rotation and you get in, you might put up 30 points. And I wouldn't be surprised if this dude checks in for the Thunder draft him or something. He plays one game and nobody knows he's not on scouting report, puts up a bunch of numbers. Right, remember Cam Thomas had like a 40-point game or something this year. Like I wouldn't be surprised that happens. But if he were to play immediately, if he went to like the Orlando Magic and they're like, hey, we're going to see what he's got, I think the scouting report's very quickly going to be like, push up on him because he is not going to finish at the rim on anybody, and it would be damning to where it's like he's easy to guard. Actually,
you talked about him being solvable. I think that's really like what becomes difficult for him at the next level is there's all these elite defenders in the league, and also like the coaching and everything like that. They're going to know the scouting report. They're going to go straight to his weaknesses. There are going to be a lot of times that he has to go after those weaknesses, and the ones that stand out, he's not finishing at the rim, and he's also a streaky shooter that does not like contact. But he's also a scorer that wants the ball in his hands.
Right.
That just becomes like times where he's OC, like he's just super out of control. He can't get to his spots or anything like that. And that's when those type of issues align with themselves. Yeah. Also, every single scouting report that you have read on him says that he like does not take good shots. Bad shot selection.
I think that's coming up here.
Every single one.
Yeah, well, let's just go ahead and throw that on there as well. It is the Cam Thomas comparison's great. Dion Waiters, both the good and the bad. You get a lot of, I'm calling my own number here with some disregard for time and place and all that.
And some insanity. Like some of this is, when you talk about shot selection, some of this is guys that are just selfish or they've played a certain way, like this or that. And some of it is like you don't know what's a good shot or not. And I worry with him, it's that part. I worry it's like you sit a guy down and you're like, dude, no, that's not good. He's like, what are you talking about? I make these all the time. And probably like, yeah, but
it's like Tatum takes that
there's
shot.
Sorry. All roads lead back to
Tatum. I love that. He's like, Tatum does.
He's in the finals. And then, sorry.
You felt good about that one,
I did, yeah. That felt good off the thumbs. And then as with any Nuggets prospect right now, perhaps the first question anyone at home has is, how's he as a defender? Not great. Not great. He's a little flat-footed. The effort's not always there. The closeouts they're slow to get there. They're easy to attack. He's a guy that'll get blown by. It just doesn't seem like all of his attention and effort and focus is on defense.
Hearing. Let's get this guy.
No, here's what you're hearing, because you're right. Like I hate saying this about guys, especially when I'm only watching the highlight reels, the scouting reports, to say, because they're highlighting when he doesn't. But some of the effort on some of the low lights of his defensive, you're like, yeah, that dude does not compete. Like that was like a non-competitive. I know there's flat-footed, there's slow foot or whatever, but then there's like, you just weren't trying.
Someone's on the bench. Like, is he serious?
Yeah, is he like serious right now?
So and with that mentality, it's easy to do it if you're scoring a lot of baskets. He's going to come into the NBA as a like scorer, but he's going to be an NBA talent. He's not an NBA talent type of scorer. He's a pretty good scorer, but so now you're focused mentally, but you're not even a good defender, and then you're really not that good of an offensive player because there's so many other talented players. So you bring him in next to a Jamal Murray, a Michael Porter Jr., a Jokic, and he's bad as a defender, which you really need, and he's also like an okay scorer, and he's going to be like the 9th best option in that. It's like, I don't know what we can do here.
Yeah. And when you talk about at the NBA level, like if he went to Houston, whatever the next year's version of Houston
feels
is,
like a Houston player.
Well, it's like a kind of, because
he really does.
He is Jalen Green.
No. He's Josh Christopher. Remember, Josh Christopher was the second rounder. He's like the second round version of Cam Thomas, where it's like he also gets some shots up, and he got an opportunity, and he had some nights where people were excited. But if he goes to like a Spurs or just go like it's late in the draft is where he's going to go. Yep. So if he just goes to a team that's like, no, you have to earn your way on the court, I don't see how he would do it because it was that far away on these things.
On the flip side, he might light it up at Summer League. It could
just be he might. Summer League.
People might be like, "Did you guys see Jaden Hardy?"
Dude, he's definitely going to have a very good Summer League.
One more thing, bullet point on the weaknesses. For as prolific and saucy as he is off the dribble, he's not a dynamic athlete, not a particularly strong athlete,
right.
And so that is something obviously for a guy who's 6'4" at the next level should come into play a little bit as well.
I think the one thing I will say though about the scouting report, because we're spending an extra amount of time on the negatives. The reason he is a late pick with those negatives, but he's not a second rounder or like a late second or something, the reason is because he really is that enticing as an offensive talent. Like,
yes.
He reminds me, the comp I put out there is that he's sort of a hybrid between Cam Thomas and Bones Highland. And we know how we feel about Bones. Like, he has a lot of sauce to his game. He has some great footwork, some great moves, really, and high level. Like, when we talk about pick and roll, it's doing some high level stuff. I will say this, in the first half of his video, I did the like, ooh, like more than maybe any other player I've done. Where I watch it, I'm like, holy hell! I even put in the chat when I was doing it this morning. I was like, fire emote. I'm like, bro, this guy's awesome, and I could tell what was coming. Like he's got the type of game right now. Before he even got to the negatives, I'm like, I know exactly where the turn's going to come.
That's almost why it ends up sounding like spending more time on the weaknesses. He's just kind of easy to understand that way. Like the strength, he is a one-on-one scorer, and that is hard to oversell. The finishing would be a problem, but like at some point for someone's bench, he's going to take over a 5-minute stretch, and look amazing.
You know where I think he goes?
Minnesota?
He's a total Tim Conley pick. This feels like
Dane, focus in.
This sounds like such a Tim Conley pick, man. Straight hooper. Where's he from? Is he from Baltimore?
He has to be.
He has to be.
He's from Nevada.
Oh, he's from Nevada. That's right. Oh, he was born in Detroit, and played in Nevada. So.
How much time did he spend in Baltimore?
Yeah, but he's been to Baltimore. I knew it. He's been there.
Yeah. He loves Old Bay.
Yeah, so he's. I gotta be honest, man. He was a lot of fun. I don't see a universe in which he ends up on the Nuggets.
To me, there's virtually no fit here. It feels very redundant with not just the last draft pick, but just the skill set all up and down the roster. You have a lot of offense.
You know what's funny, man, is do you remember when they drafted Bones? Allegedly, Jokic, not allegedly, Michael Malone said this, or Tim Conley said this. Jokic reached out and was like, yo, send me some tape. I want to see this guy, which really, to me, is like, that was a detail that we almost glossed over. I feel like that needed more time. I don't think Jokic 4 years ago was asking for tape on draft. I think he met draft picks when he came back into town and was like, who are you? Are you a coach? Oh,
where
you're
did
a player?
You play?
That guy played.
Yeah. Oh, what's your name? Michael Porter Jr.? Okay, good to meet you, man. Who are you?
Yeah.
But instead, so I wonder, like, I keep thinking, like, if you did draft this guy and he looks like, send me the tape, and they send him any of this guy, he'd be like, the hell's wrong with you guys? You want me to play with this guy? He's driving me nuts.
He's watching the tape with his hands out.
And like, we wanted Jokic to be like more of a leader, but now he's telling us what to do. He's telling us he hates the people that we're bringing in. It's kind of awkward.
Yeah, I am not out on Jaden Hardy as a player, but like as a Nugget with where they're at right now, it doesn't make a ton of sense.
What do you guys think?
I mean, everything that you guys are saying like makes complete sense. I mean, I agreed with your initial assessment. Like, oh man, this guy can shoot. Like, I like his mechanics. I like the way that he that his jump shot looks. Like, he has like a really nice looking Euro step. I'm really surprised to hear that his finishing at the rim is so bad. I mean, I guess I didn't watch the same video you did. To me, it looked like I was like, oh, okay, this guy can do a little something at the rim. But
I think what it is he gets to the rim really well. So when he gets there wide open, he finishes.
Well,
but when it's like highlights. But when he doesn't, when he gets there and has to like
but I mean, it would be criminally negligent to draft a guy that doesn't bring defense to the perimeter at this point.
It'd be kind of awesome. I would respect it a little bit.
It would be a full like. Fuck it.
What if Bones does get traded this summer? Because he's the best trade, whatever. And they're like, you know what? We could. It's the next Bones.
I love the idea that yesterday we looked at a guy that's a proxy for Monte. They're just like, we like our team, but like not the team. Like, we want these guys, but like different guys that are those guys.
It would be hilarious if they go get Nembhard and this and him like 21-30. They're like, but we're trading Monte.
We give them Monte's locker and Bones' locker.
Yeah, but based off of like the draft being next week, does whoever they pick tell you what they're gonna do here shortly? Like, you know, if they get a guy like that, does it say like, okay, now
a good
they're
question.
really pushing for Bones to be out, or if they get a Monte replacement? This guy fits.
If they drafted an offensive player, I would be like, who's gone? Like,
Who's
there's
gone?
more
That's what
players.
I'm- yeah.
Offensive guard, I'd be like, they're trading two or three of these guys.
Yeah, so if they draft him, who do you,
I'd be like, well, that means Monte, Barton, and Bones maybe are all gone. Like,
yeah,
they're
so
just
that's why this
resetting
this is tough.
everything. I don't see it. I just don't see it happening, man. I mean, he's an interesting player. Of all the players we have profiled, I think I would be most shocked if they took him.
Now I'm expecting it.
Yeah,
Buckle up,
now,
everyone.
now you can mark it down with ink.
Oh, that'll be such a good, callback. All right, let's take.
on the show. We're like, oh.